Today we'll be discussing Matheus Cunha and his move to Manchester United. With us to share his knowledge is Seamus, and we also have the Silver Fox himself, the one, the only, ED25, Billy, who is just here to look pretty. How are you both today?
I'm good, thanks.
Why has his video gone off now? Is he just doing this? He's doing this on purpose, and he's sulking because he's.
I don't know. It's gone off on mine as well.
He doesn't look pretty. That's the problem.
He's back now. Makeup. He's in makeup.
Yeah, again. He spent 3 hours in makeup. That's why we had to wait.
Yeah, he's back now.
Yeah,
he's main screen.
Oh, right. Anyway, so what do you think of the Matheus Cunha transfer then? We'll start with Billy. Let's get your point of view, because...
Do you know what? I think he's a really good player. I think he's strong. He scores goals. But I'm not sure about his temperaments. I think he's a bit of a narc. I think he's going to get a lot of bookings because I don't think he can hold his mouth. But as a player, I'm very impressed by him. I think he's just what United need. He's someone who'll take them forward, which has been the biggest cross to bear for me for Man United. There's been no one who can take the ball in front of goal and do something with it. The likes of Højlund, even Garnacho, they're not good enough for me anyway. And so I think he'll be a good player for United. I think they got him at the right price as well. So I'm all for it for the United fans, you know.
Yeah, pretty much what I've put on my notes about him being able to run with it and create things and score goals. He's at his peak as well, which is useful. What about you, Seamus? You happy with him?
No, I'm delighted with the signing, especially because how quickly the move just materialized. It just didn't just continue lingering on and on. It's definitely because of his new contract and the release clause, but it is very refreshing to see the deal speed up. And like on top of everything Billy said, like he is someone who grew up kind of supporting. I don't know how invested he was as a supporter. Like maybe he was just like with myself. If I was various leagues, I always have different teams I kind of follow. Although I'm a United supporter, maybe that was it. But the story he tells is like he got into watching English football via Man United. He always dreamt of playing it, so it's always a bonus to have a player who dreams of playing at the club sign for you. So,
right. I just asked you something on that, what you just said then, Seamus. You said you supported the clubs as well. Are you Robbie Keane? Have you got everybody's black scarf on your wall just in case you signed for them? And you say, oh yeah, they were the team I followed as a boy.
No, I didn't say support. I say soft corner. I am very careful with my words.
He was
just going back to him on my. Go on, Tris.
No, go on.
I was just gonna say, you know, what Seamus was saying there was absolutely spot on. He never looked for another club.
No.
There was no other club in the picture, which is a good thing for United, isn't it? He obviously said he wanted to go there. And that's before any contract negotiations that I know of anyway. And so he really wanted to go there, and that's half the battle. And I think it's the same with the lad who's just Florian Wirtz.
Oh, Wirtz, yeah.
I know Florian Wirtz for Liverpool. He wanted to go there. And you can't have any better than someone who really wants to be there and are not just there for the money and not just there to, you know, to look out for the future. It's about now, and he thinks he can do a good job, and I think he can as well.
Me too. I mean, I'm on record saying I would have, before the Wirtz transfer, obviously, because, like, you know, Wirtz was obviously, before it suddenly, you know, before he suddenly became an option, he was never, you know, nobody, that was just a dream signing Wirtz. So, you know, that was never into consideration. But other than him, Cunha would have been the one I would have loved to have seen. And Liverpool would have been the next, you know, was the next best option to Wirtz for me. And you know, So I can't say, so I definitely agree that I think he's a great signer for United. He's exactly what they're missing. He brings goals. I know people criticised him because they said he did the most amount of walking in the Premier League. Apart from, was it Van Dijk? I think was the person who'd walked most. Where's he gone? Most apart from him, and a couple of other defenders, he was in that sub. But he was playing for Wolves. He was playing as an attacker. They were telling him, stay up top, don't come back and help defend. We're going to use you as our focal point. So when we've got when we've got a chance to counter, we've got somebody to target to give us a chance to break. So he wasn't asked to defend, and as they were right down in the bottom half, like fighting against relegation for most of the season, they were barely getting the ball. So what do you expect? Do you expect him to just run around aimlessly? He was doing the right thing. He was saving his legs for when there was a chance to break. So he was ready and fit, and he was fully charged up and ready to sprint. I don't see a problem with the walking thing at all. And I know it was being massively criticised. Go on, Seamus, did you want to say something on that?
And also obviously we have not watched Wolves for all the games, every game, every moment, everything for him. But whenever we've watched him, whenever he's played against our teams, or Wolves have been on the telly and we've just scrolled through, has he ever come across as a lazy player?
No, I've always said he's a grafter. Always was my impression. Every time I watched him, I always thought he worked hard.
Yeah, the eye test doesn't suggest he's lazy. Now, at United, now we can see if it's like I said with ping pong. Is it tactics or is it just playing style?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One thing I will say, is that he'll need someone with him.
Then we will have a different thing to criticize him upon. But for now, it just seems like that was what was asked of him, and he delivered. And as a United supporter, I will be honest. I'd rather someone walk around and score 15 plus goals in the league than run around and have 0 goals in 6 months.
Like Howland, whatever his name is. Yeah, exactly.
But the only thing is, Chris, he will need someone with him. United have got to get a striker to play alongside him.
Yeah.
And then players at the false 9 or the 10, because he can't do it on his own, and there's not much up around him. There's Bruno who'll come into it, but he needs a striker with him, I believe. And they've got to get a striker. Yeah, if they get Brian and Bumo, that'd be a great signing. A great signing.
But I still think they'd need an actual out-and-out striker in front of him. In front of the two of them.
Possible.
Do you know what I do like about Cunha? Is that he suits the Man United way in that they tend to have. He's not a maverick in the. He's not like a true maverick like they used to be, like the Cantonas and the Bests and that. But he's as close as you get in the modern game, and they do suit United's way of playing. They always have done in the past. You know what I mean? When United have been at the best, they've had a player like that, a Best or a Cantona, someone who doesn't really fit into normal teams. The Berbatov's another one where you have to, you put up with them off the ball anyway for what they can bring you when they get the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But he's a creator as well, isn't he? He's a creator as well, Cunha, and I think. You say about Berbatov, he had Rooney with him, which was a great foil for him, And if they could get someone like that, up top as well, they'd be a very decent side for me.
You look at this. The one thing United were lacking last season, particularly, I should say. Obviously, a decent goalkeeper and defence is also missing. But you can't do everything at once, can you? So you got to start somewhere. But the thing they most lacked was goals. There was quite a few times when they were doing well in possession. They looked the better side, but they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And I think he helped change that. He got 18 goals and 6 assists last year. Which for player that
That's
mostly
great
played
figures
on
for
the
someone in
side.
Wolves' place.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that, it's one thing when Mo Salah does it in the team like Liverpool that's challenging at the top. But when it's, somebody in a Wolves team that was mostly fighting relegation almost all season, I think that's fantastic numbers.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Very much so.
Good. I like his
on the
with
point about the defense.
Hmm?
On the point about defense, when you look at just the raw numbers of goals conceded and all that, United didn't concede many more goals than a Newcastle or an Aston Villa.
Exactly.
Where they lacked is goals scored. They made up for the goals conceded by scoring two goals when they conceded one, or 3 goals when they conceded 2. United scored nothing. That is, at least, like, if you can't keep 38 clean sheets, then at least make sure your opponent doesn't also keep 38 clean sheets.
Yeah, exactly. You need to score goals. You don't want to win games about goals. So
that's one step at a time, but it's a move forward. I see a lot of positives with the move. Is like, one of the most important things is he plays a similar system already at Wolves. So he should be familiar with the expectations of the system, the in and outs of the system. Maybe, like, every manager, everyone has different views and ideas, but the general basic framework would be very similar.
Same with
Can I ask you, Deeps?
Can
I ask you, Deeps, who you'd like alongside him? Who would you, if you were United manager or buyer, who would you say I'd love him to play alongside Cunha?
Like, in a dream scenario where nothing else matters and I can just snap my finger and make it happen, obviously it would be Isak. But on a slightly more realistic outlook, I've always, like, for nearly a year, I've been saying, like, Mateta looks a very good option for a United team that lacks that just lacks a number 9.
Yeah.
And just with as it with Cunha, I see a very similar profile for Mateta. Plays in a similar system. Good age, not too old, not too young. Proven in the Premier League, and shouldn't cost an arm and a leg, because he's not A, the fanciest of the name, B, doesn't have too much remaining on the contract. So I think if United really went after him, we could get Mateta, and he can. I'm sure he would be someone we can sell the project to, someone we can bring in, and someone we can expect to lead the line for us.
Yeah.
Right.
What's Mateta?
For where
About
we
28, isn't he?
It's 27, turning 28.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You don't need kids. You've got plenty of kids in the in the academy and that you could bring through. The issue is you haven't got the ready-made finished product in the team. That's where you're missing.
Even Højlund, who knows, if he wasn't coming with this expectation and the pressure of being the leading line for Man United, maybe he would have developed a bit better.
I think you've just got to give up on him. Give up on Højlund.
No, I'm not saying now. I'm just saying,
he's
like,
not even a player. He's not a player for me.
No, I like, genuinely, my feeling is the more he plays, the worse he becomes. Like what I was saying.
I'm with you, yeah.
If let's say we had someone who we could rely to play 25 games when Højlund first joined us, maybe with different pressures and different scenarios, he could have developed better. But the pressure just got to him, or whatever it was. Maybe maybe he was just a flash in a pan. I don't know, but I think it is right for us to just find him a new club, be it on loan or in sell. If nothing else, then I'm at least for the lad. I hope a change of scenario works for him. Maybe having someone like a Cunha can be a change enough for him. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say someone like Wolverhampton, the German fella.
For me, is a bit too similar to Xerxes, both in profile and age.
Yeah, I know you think they're the same, apart from the fact Wolverhampton looks good.
Oh, Xerxes, He had amazing moments at Bologna. Come on,
Yeah,
just because
Bologna, he obviously can't cope with the pace of the game. He's too slow, isn't he? His speed of thought isn't there. That's his problem. If he can
look,
improve it,
tell that
if
to
he can
Silva.
improve it, though,
Tell that to
and that's something that can be done. This is something that coaching can do. He can be fixed.
No, he was slowly looking a bit better player. Then he just got injured at the end of the season. Like when he started, maybe started looking for him. Like maybe he was learning a bit, maybe adapting a little bit. And that is why I am in the camp of keep Xerxes over Hoyton.
Well, and obviously Cunha's been signed to replace Garnacho. I think that's the clear thing, isn't it? That he's been signed so they can and Garnacho's on his way as soon as they can get rid of him. Maybe to Villa if they'll take him because he likes their shirt.
Anyways.
Has he already got their shirt? He may as well sign him.
He's got the shirt, yeah.
I just wonder how much you're going to have to pay someone to take him because he's a walking attitude on legs.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, you compare them, and you say that he's who he's replacing. There's no comparison, is there? Because Cunha is a massive upgrade.
No, I will tell you this. Like, okay, on the walking stat, I'd rather have Cunha walking for 90 minutes than Garnacho running for 90 minutes because Garnacho produces nothing actual for the team. He runs for himself only.
Do you remember what you were saying at the start of the season? We had was it the end of last season? I can't remember. We had an argument about it. Because you did think you thought he was better than Diallo, and I was saying, no, I'm telling you, I really like that Diallo, but I don't like Garnacho. And you say, yeah, but he works hard and that he runs around a lot. Yeah, but he's shit. Let's be honest.
I don't think I said he's better than Ahmad because Ahmad hasn't played too much. It's Ahmad Diallo. It's the same.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name.
No, that is the thing. When you first get Garnacho, he looks like by the time it's 70, 80, 90 minutes, he looks like he's already spent having run around and all that. At first, you get the impression that he's running around for the team, but the more you watch him play, it just becomes apparent that he's running. Even when he's chasing back. He's like a headless chicken, just running around for the sake of running around.
Yeah, he's got no brain.
And you've got Rashford to come into that as well, haven't you? You still own Rashford. So he's another attitude, isn't he? You know, that you need to get away from the club.
This is where Everton having the financial in the dumpster comes into play for United. Otherwise, to Garnacho, this Anthony, Sancho, even and Rashford, all in one window.
That's what's happened, isn't it? That's why you've got stuck with all your dross. Because Everton can't afford to buy them for once. You used to just be the Old Trafford rejects team, didn't you?
Yeah, we have had a few. Some of them have been good, by the way. I was a big fan of Neville, actually. I thought he'd done really well for us.
I like Phil Neville, so I like him as I like the lad.
No, but Phil Neville. No, that's Phil Neville. There's Darren Gibson.
Yeah, I like Gibbo.
No, I'm not saying they have terrible players. I'm just saying, at least at the time, they were playing above a level or two when they were playing.
Different level back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, Everton was a good home for them.
Yeah, they were much better. You had much better.
Home for stray dogs. Yeah.
You had much better. To be fair, though, their rejects were much better back then. I mean, the likes of Gibson and that were much better players. Even Garner's he's a massive drop in quality compared to the likes of Gibson and that.
No, but Chris, when you're winning the league, your rejects look much better.
Yeah,
just
true.
Ask that to Bayer Leverkusen, 30 fucking million for Jared Konza. I wouldn't even swap him for Maguire.
I don't understand that myself. I wouldn't pay 3 million.
Why the hell is Kenagner coming for Maguire then?
at least Kwanzaa's young enough to improve. And to be fair, at 22, where was Virgil van Dijk? He was still making stupid mistakes. He's not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Kwanzaa's anything like Van Dijk. I'm saying he's got time to improve, so he could still become a decent centre half. But I suppose compared to be honest though, you got to look at it this way: Bundesliga, the defences in the Bundesliga are truly abysmal. So he'd probably fit in nicely there. He'll probably be top class there.
Okay, come on, wait. This is Maguire, not Maguire. Sorry, this is Cunha.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. You changed it up,
yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, let's just say, regardless how you spin it, you mugged off Bayer Leverkusen. At least when I look at the deal Bayer Leverkusen got for Kwanzaa, I'm happy that United are only paying twice as much for Cunha. That's way more palatable this way.
Do you know what we haven't because like last time, just to give an idea what other people are saying rather than just us, Bill. I just went to whoscored.com to get, because they do like a list of the strengths and as well as the stats. You get the stats of the player, like just in case we need someone to talk about. Like, but they also do like a strengths and weaknesses thing. Some of them are hilarious, but they, I just thought like they're useful to play. And they have like the style of play they've got from checking the stats. So I just thought, see if we agree with them. Basically, weaknesses for Cunha, they've got aerial duels, but I'm not so sure that that's really a weakness because, like, I can't remember him.
I think he's quite decent in the air. I thought he was quite decent in the air when I seen him.
But he's normally, when he's been in an aerial duel, he's up against a big centre half that, like, you wouldn't expect him to win. So if he wins, that tells you he's good, rather than if he loses, it means he's bad. Yeah. That's how I'd look on it, anyway. But that's the only weakness they've put for him, which tells you a lot. But his strengths.
The only weakness I think he's got is an attitude at times, but I don't know whether that's is a weakness. It might be a strength.
Yeah,
because you need players like that in the side. You do, and
I do. I agree.
I know you've already got Bruno, but you do need a bit of nastiness, and I think he can bring that. But I thought that might be, if some would say, his weakness.
I did as well. I thought discipline might be, but he only had one red card all season. 5 yellows, 1 red. That's it. So it's not bad discipline, really. Not the worst.
No. He had 2 red cards. One was
2 yellows. No, that doesn't. They record that as 2 yellows.
No, one was against Ipswich.
Overturned.
And one was against Bournemouth for a scuffle with Kirkich.
But I'm just saying they don't count. If it's 2 yellows, second yellow rather than a straight red, I think they record it as yellows on their stats because they've only recorded 1 red and 5 yellows.
Maybe it was different. Maybe it was different competitions because I remember.
No, it's just all competitions. This is his entire. I took the total. I don't look at I do from last season. I just took the total. But anyway, so his strengths, they've got dribbling, which I can't argue with. He's very good running with the ball. You wouldn't want to tackle him because they say one of the things they say about his style of play is he gets fouled often. That's because he's good running with the ball, and so you end up fouling him trying to get at him. Finishing, which I agree, he scores some fabulous
very
goals.
Good finisher.
Long shots, again, can't argue with that, can you? Some of them goals he scored. Key passes as well, which is something United really lack, because there's only really Bruno that was showing creativity at times last season. So he'll help a lot with that.
And Ahmad.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you had a stage where Ahmad was out, wasn't he? And it was literally you just had everything it was just if Bruno didn't do something, you were in trouble. And he was having to rescue in quite a few games.
There were only 3 players. There were only 3 players in this squad who you could name for creativity. It was Bruno, Ahmad, and Lolly Eriksson. But Eriksson didn't really play, and that's because he's past it. It's not far. No.
Yeah, and there's other things is holding on to the ball, crossing, and the other strength is headed attempts, but yet they said he's weak in aerial duels, so I'm confused. Which is it? There's always one, isn't there? We said that last time, like, there's only 10 minutes left, so. Yeah, I mean...
It was the same with Frimpong, like through balls and key passes were his strength, but his like passing was his weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, they said key passes was a strength, but passing was a weakness. So which is it? Is passing a strength or a weakness? I mean, they do often get a bit confused, I think. Yeah, anyway, is there anything else you want to add about?
With the heading thing? With the heading thing is like I don't think he's an Osimhen like beast in the air, but he's also not a Cunha, like hardly gets a header. Like even in his like 15, 16 Premier League goals, it's like 2-3 of them are headers. Whether you get separation from the defenders to get the heading or outright beat a defender, it's still a goal. A goal is a goal. A header is a header.
Yeah, I think
he'll be a great signing for United. I think he'll do really well. And but I'd like to see someone with him, but to come in as well to partner him, whether it be Mateta, whether it be Bremo. But I'd like someone to partner him because I think that's been United's downfall, has been that lack of goals, lack of taking chances when they're on a plate, because they've missed quite a few sitters. And I think he could be a real star for them. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately.
One thing he adds to the team, to the squad, is the height.
Yeah.
We don't have too many 6-foot plus players in the team, full stop. Like even if Lisandro, when he comes back, when he's fit and playing, even if he has a run on a on an attacker when he's defending, he ain't getting past 6'4", even with a jump.
Yeah,
he does help in that respect, though he won't often be back defending. But he does give you more of a threat in the opposition half, which is...
in set pieces. In set piece situations, at least like we can use his height to deter opponent. If he can't win duels, he can at least hinder them.
Yeah, because especially if you've got Mbumo as well, you can leave him as the counter-attack threat and let Cunha drop in.
Yeah, like we have a lot of players who are on the shorter side, like Lisandro. He's quite short. Dorgu is hardly 6 foot. Ugarte isn't that tall. Bruno is quite
Diallo.
Like when we have a defensive set piece, it could be something to.
I was trying to think of you've got that's tall, and it's difficult to think of anyone other than Maguire, isn't it? He's basically your only.
Yeah, Maguire, De Ligt, Euro, they are quite tall. Euro is the strongest in the
air. The two kids, Heaven and Euro are both over 6 foot. They're...
Zirkzee as well. Zirkzee, is he over 6 foot?
Yes, true.
He looks big.
Yeah, true. He's tall. Lanky, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, his quality, I don't know if he's Premier League.
What's with what you do with you're trying to... He's seeing whether he can undo a shirt button or two for... to make himself look a bit sexy for any ladies watching. He's thinking, do you think I can get away with it without anyone noticing that I've done it now? Like, he's probably got a medallion on.
I think he's lost a bit of weight there. I think Deeps has lost a bit of weight there.
He's been working out ready for the videos. As soon as I told him there was videos coming, that's what he's been doing. He says he's at work in the shop, but he's not actually doing any work. He says, you know what he's doing? He's working out, So just in case Bobby watches.
Work is work.
We all know. Look at him. He's checking it. Me, I'm just sweating the weight off at the moment. Oh my God, it's hot. Anything else to add? Because we need to wrap up soon because we've only got 40 minutes now and it's coming to the end of it. We had the 10-minute warning a few minutes ago, so...
Yeah, but only that I've had to renew my passport this week for Everton's assault on Europe next year.
I thought you were coming for a holiday, Bill.
No, I'm going to, but I have to get my passport done first to go to Champions League next year.
Champions League. You don't think you'll need
Well,
it
you
yet,
never
mate?
know. You never know.
I think there's more chance of you coming here for a holiday than that. Yeah, and I know you won't do that
No,
in case your
there's more
missus wants to
chance of
come out
him
and do
coming
some
over
shopping.
here for a holiday.
Hmm?
There's
Yeah.
more chance of him coming over here for
Yeah.
holiday. Maybe
Probably.
I could do, yeah.
need a passport. No, you might need a passport for Champions League, but it would be Asian Champions League.
Hey, I was
Oh,
watching
God.
Asian Champions League games last season.
I only watched the Premier League, I'll be honest with you. I find European football quite boring, to be
But
honest.
the
No,
team
when
here is
you
just
don't have
over
a
over
horse,
in the Asian Champions League, so as I'm
no,
with.
when your horse isn't in the race, it's not quite interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably why we don't
Otherwise-
like international football, because you're Nepalese and we're English, so we're all shit. So
No, it is very fine rooting for someone to lose, but when you don't have anyone you root for to win this, like it
Yeah,
becomes quite tedious.
it's not the same, is it? Anyway, we may as well wrap it up here because, this was. I don't think we've got anything else
It's a
to
thumbs up.
Cunha, apart from we all think he's a great signing for United. Unfortunately,
Yeah, very good signing.
yeah,
Yeah,
top
it's a
half
thumbs
finish
up for
maybe
United.
next season. Up there, just
Right, boys?
Very height. Can we handle the height?
oh
Height
no,
of it.
you'll all have nosebleeds. You won't have to scroll
Well,
to find yourself next season.
We'll have to do a pre-season one, won't we?
But we'll keep doing them.
my
We'll
neck on
do
the
them
line.
with each signing and stuff as well to practice, and we'll do a few extra ones just because it's only 40 minutes. We can
Yeah.
just do them and you know what I mean. We can get them done now and do them. We've got a limit, so we don't end up with the 3-4 hour epics we were ended up with that just got carried away.
I know, yeah.
No.
Do go on a bit long.
Yeah,
But it'd be nice
No,
to.
I will put my neck on the line, Billy. If United with Cunha don't finish above Everton, I'll buy you a full Everton kit for the 26-27
wow,
Okay.
oh, that's a lot of money.
Oh, you
That's
are
like
putting
a
yourself
lifetime.
on the line.
No, that is how much confidence I have in Cunha to drag this.
Oh, how stupid he is! I don't know which it is. Or how bad he thinks Everton are. Possibly.
Everton don't have any players.
Yeah.
10 of them left on the field.
They'll go and sign.
Well,
They'll go and sign Isaac now just to prove you're wrong, and then you'll shut up, won't you?
Will this just go dead now?
No, I'll switch
Chris,
it.
will this just go dead now?
It'll cut off when we get to 40 minutes. So we'll say we better call. Say goodbyes now. So
yeah.
See you next time, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks
Nice
for
to
listening.
see you, boys, and we'll arrange another one. Yeah.
Yeah. And talk to you soon. Yeah, because we'll do one more
Okay.
on Fits in the next few days. Yeah. Thanks for
see you later, boys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Ta-da now.